So I don't normally go political on this channel. I've tried not to, but recently the events that have happened are making me realise that Games Workshop actually, and this is true for Games Workshop, Forge World, any public licensed company really, they go when they go public licensed company or PLC or any sort of corporate shareholders, stockbrokers, people like that who are more, they're then seen as more important than the fans. So what's brought this on is that new Firestorm bunker building thing they've brought out for the Marines, as well as the Primaris with melter guns that are suddenly better than fire pikes. Games Workshop, look, you don't need more units for the Marines. That's not needed at all. Marines, you can forget about the Marines. Forget about them. They are not the main faction. Just if everyone plays Marines, who's going to play Eldar? Who's going to play Tyranids? Who's going to play Chaos? What you're doing by making all the Primaris really, really useful and really, really interesting is I can then go into any Games Workshop store, buy an army of Primaris, an army's worth of Primaris, paint them all up in one colour for 1 week, strip them down, play with them using those rules, strip them all back down to bare plastic, repaint them, go back out, win a different battle with the exact same army. Until it's changed is the paint scheme. And the Prophecy of the Wolf set is a perfect example of this. You have one Space Wolf in that set. One. Ragnar. Even he's not full Space Wolf. He's now a Primaris Space Wolf, but I say not a full wolf. His backstory had him as a proper anti-status quo Space Wolf, and yes, he gave a bit of respect and lip here and there to the various other Space Wolf Lords, but it was because he did that made him so popular. He was the teenage rebel against all the adults in the Space Wolf, in the fan and what have you. So yeah, he was rash and he was not necessarily the most logical thinker out there, but he got the results that he needed and he made it obvious that what he did worked. So now he's joined Primaris and is now fighting Ghazghkull, which, okay, makes sense. They are enemies, but giving them intercessors in that Space Wolf box was just, why? There's no uniqueness on the Intercessors Marines. The new units, the Bladeyard veterans, the melter dudes with 24-inch range melters, they have more detail on them and what have you, which is fine. That's good. That means they're actually looking more interesting. They've got a bit more reason to it. There's more story behind them. But people go, oh, we need corporate buzzwords. We need the brand new model. We need this. We need that. Make it happen. Right. Do you even know how Space Marines work? Space Marines are the scalpel. The Imperial Guard, or the Astra Militarum, as they're now known, are the guys who would build bunkers and drop them in from orbit and have them on the battlefield. The Imperial Guard are the guys who would erect a bunker, a trench bunker complex, because they wanted to defend that area. They would think nothing about putting 200 men around a bunker to protect, around a strategic location to protect it, and have thousands of enemies swarm them. To them, the life of a guardsman is worth so little compared to the life of a planet that they will happily throw millions of guardsmen against a foe to stop them taking one planet. They will destroy regiments if needs be. And ever since 6th and 7th edition, Games Workshop have gone, we need the biggest, the best, and we need the newest. We need to make those three things happen. So they have done. Wraith Knights, Stompers, Tau Suits, the Supremacy Fire Suit, I think it is. Stompers, the Orcs, Imperial Knights. Everyone can suddenly get a Lord of War type unit in their army. The Guard get Bane Blades and all the other variants and Imperial Knights. And suddenly, oh, I want to play a 2,000 point game. Sure, okay. It's either a cheese list where the enemy bring out the the melter spam list, so Stern Guardian drop pods with combi melters and a melter gun and melter bombs as a one-use distraction unit. I've seen that before. Or guardsmen would take melter veterans, so 3 melter guns in a veteran infantry squad, and grav shoot them out of a Valkyrie into the rear armor and blasted Divindalis out of it. I have seen it happen. But yet, nobody tries to balance these units out. They just go, right, we're giving a Wraith Knight to the Eldar who has got 2 destroyer strength guns and optional 4 or 3 or 4 shot weapons that can be twin linked. Right, yeah, that makes sense. Also, we'll give them options for missiles and all sorts. Or we can get, and then so what do we do with the Imperium? Whoa, let's give them a battle cannon, a thermal lance, or a Gatling cannon. So no, at the start it was just the melter lance or the battle cannon. Seems fair, doesn't it? Well, I mean, it's got a heavy stubber, but they should also have, or just have a melter gun. Right, okay, it's not too bad then. It's fairly balanced. No, that's not balanced. Just formations and super heavies was when 40k started becoming less interesting for me, because then it was not a matter of which tactics do I use to win. It was a matter of, do I have the latest unit? Do I have the biggest set of guns? Which isn't what 40k is about. 40k is meant to be better than chess in many respects. At least in chess, I mean, everyone has the same number of pieces. They've got the same number of moves you can make, and you can move forward. And if you lose all your pieces, that's your bad luck. But with 40k, if you lost one squad over there, you can avenge that squad with these squads over here. You can avenge, and if you poured enough shots into a unit, that unit then died. And if you were careful with your placement of models, you could mitigate. I could have 5 Terminators with an assault cannon and a cyclone missile launcher. Sorry, 5 Terminators with an assault cannon. Only kill one guy because that's the only guy in true line of sight to that squad, and then the rest of the squad comes out round the corner, having avoided all that firepower that swept down the street and then blast away my Terminators. That is possible because of placement, of tactics, of strategy. So, comments down below. I want to know how 8th is better than 6th or 7th without just going just because. Because that's no reason. The reason I've stopped playing 40k is it's just the immersive nature with all these recent releases. It's just killing the immersion in many respects for me, because it's no longer about have I got a viable way of writing army lists. It's about have I got the latest unit, have I got the latest flyer, have I got the latest this, latest that. You don't need the latest, you just need to know your army. And if you can work out a way not to counter an enemy, but to have a fun game and to make it an interesting and possibly a fluff based game. So if, let's say it's the salamanders and the orcs fighting each other, you could have the salamanders being all flame based weaponry, the orcs going around in mechanized vehicles, and that would still be a more interesting game than just, oh, I've got to shoot that unit there because it's the closest one. The target priority is something that is up to me, the gamer, not the rules. If I see that Rebute Gilliman is on the battlefield, he'll be my number one priority because he'll have the most effect on his army. And if that means then that I lose 3/4 of my army in combat because I've killed Gilliman, then that's up to me. Anyway, rant over. I'll catch you all next time. Thanks for watching.